Okay, yes. Assalamu alaikum to all. Hope you all are doing good. Let's start with today's topic. Okay, let's continue from where we left. Today we are going to discuss SEO basics, and this is part 2. For people who have missed the last session, you really missed a great part. Okay, and my request to you all is please do not miss live sessions, because what generally happens is the recordings are for only 1 hour, and many times we sit after the classes to discuss doubts uh, that are not recorded, and that is the main broth of all of these things. You are going to get a lot of value after the class generally. So if you are losing out, then you are losing out on a very big time. So it's a humble request from me to all of you, please do not miss live sessions. I can understand we all have different busyness, we all have different things to take care, but we have paid fees for this, right? We have already committed for this. That was the reason I asked all of you in the first class itself, what are you ready, or what are you willing to commit? Okay, that was for your own self, that was not for me, because I'll just come take class and I may go away. I will try my best, and I will pick up the students who are really interested in doing this, and I'll go ahead with them. So it's humble request, please do not miss any of the live sessions. It will be a big loss for you. Okay, having said that, let's proceed further with today's topic, that is part number 2 of SEO basics, or search engine optimization basics. Before we move on, let's have a quick recap what all we went through till now, what all we have studied till now. So the overview, we have seen the overview of what exactly is SEO all about. It's like, we gave a definition for SEO, then we have seen different types of traffic. We have seen the difference between organic and paid traffic. Then we saw how search engines are an important source of traffic. We saw how valuable is the traffic from the search engines. Then we discussed about the method on which search engines work. That is, they count relevance and authority to rank any website or web page. Then they display it accordingly. Excuse me. Then we had an introduction of click-through rates. Okay, we just introduced you to click-through rates, what exactly click-through rates are all about. That's a tongue twister, sorry. Then we saw methods to optimize our website. Okay, optimizing website for SEO using keywords in title and meta tags. Now, for people who have missed first class, you may be wondering what is title and what is meta. Okay, so that is why I'm requesting you not to miss anything. Even though you may see that in the recording, but you may not be able to get the flavor out of it. Okay, so then we saw Google Search Console, how to register your website in Google Search Console. That is one of the most important steps, because without registering your website in Google Search Console, it will not appear in the search at all. Okay, then we had an introduction and a quick lookout for Google Analytics. We just saw how Google Analytics looks like, how the screen looks like, and what exactly to look for in Google Analytics. It was just a small intro, but that was helpful. Hope that was helpful. Okay. Then we saw other ways to improve traffic, like we talked about registering our websites in local registries. Like for in India, we talked about Sulekha and Trade India or Trademart.com and all that stuff. Then we talked about registering your website in social pages. Like you should have a social page on Facebook, and you should have an Instagram profile, and similarly, you can have a page for your business or your website on LinkedIn, etc. So these were the things that we covered till now. Okay, let's proceed further from here. Can we have all the cameras muted and mics muted, please? All right, so let's move on. Today we are going to talk about mobile readiness of your website. Why is it important for your website to be mobile ready? Then we'll talk about your website speed. Why your website speed is the most important factor in conversions. Okay, then we will try to cover SEO deeper, in a much deeper way. Basically, SEO is of two types, on-page and off-page SEO. So we are going to touch that topic today. Let's proceed further with mobile readiness. What exactly mobile readiness is all about, and why is it important? Let us see. See, mobile readiness is something like, your website should be ready for a mobile. It should display on a mobile like it should be displayed on a mobile, not like it is being displayed on a desktop. So that is called as responsiveness. A responsive website adjusts its size and contents according to the device it is being displayed on. For example, if you open a website on a desktop, it should look like a full desktop. Then if you're opening on a screen, which is very, very small, like for example, mobile screen or tablet screen, it should adjust accordingly. Here are some statistics that will help you to decide whether you should make your website mobile ready or not. Point number one is 73% of mobile users, because nowadays you see that the mobile users are increasing. Okay, every other person has a smartphone in his hand with internet connection, which is connected to internet, and he can open your website. Okay, so such people, out of them, 73% of these mobile users are saying that they encountered a too slow website. What will happen if the website is too slow? We will look at it in the coming slides. Now, 51% of the mobile users encountered problems with websites, because websites crashed, website froze, and some websites threw some error. They did not function as they were supposed to function. And 38% of the mobile users encountered a website that wasn't available at all. So why we are talking about all of these statistics? Because your website is the most important part of your business. And if it goes through all of these, then you can understand what your business will go through. Okay, so you have to make sure that your website is 100% mobile ready and mobile friendly. How to check whether your website is mobile ready or not? It's very simple. Take a small test. There's a website called as Mobile Readiness Test, which is provided by Google. You can go to that website, type your website name there, and it will show you whether your website is mobile ready or not. Let us see how that is done. I'm going to share another screen with you people. Okay, here we go. Just go to Google, type Google Mobile Friendly Test. Press enter. This is what you will get. You can type your website name right away here. You can open a link in a new window or in the same window like this. Just type your website name here, like regalconsultants.in. I just checked my mobile readiness test. I already had it, so that's why it's showing there. It will take a couple of minutes. Then it will show you the results. This page should show that your website is mobile ready. Otherwise, there is no point in proceeding forward. See, page is mobile friendly. This is most important. And this is how it looks on a mobile. It shows me the copy of a mobile ready website. Now, same thing when I open here. By the way, I just deleted my website and reinstalled everything. So you might be wondering why this is looking like this. Okay, accidentally I deleted everything. Then I thought, okay, that's a good idea to go ahead with from scratch. That's why I just started building on it. Okay, so this is how it looks on a desktop, and this is how it looks on a mobile. So it should look like this on a mobile, and on a desktop it should look on mobile and desktop as in desktop. So this is very, very important, because people are now moving from desktops and laptops towards mobiles. And if we are not exploiting that opportunity, then there is no use of creating a website, because the amount of people visiting from desktop and laptop will decrease gradually. Okay, so we will not be able to target our customers for selling our product, or maybe for signing up, for whatever reason you might have created a website. You will not be able to fulfill that particular purpose. So make sure that your page shows green. Okay, this will show green like this. Done with that, let's go back and see what next. Okay, so we have taken the test and the website is in green zone, means the website is mobile ready. What next? Next part is checking the speed of your website. And why is it so important to check the speed of your website? Let us see. Here are some statistics again, because statistics help you make right decisions, informed decisions. 40% of the people abandon a website that takes more than 3 seconds. I think we talked about this while discussing about AIDA, right? The person takes a decision whether to visit your website or not within 3 seconds. And once he is on your website, he will take just 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds to decide whether to abandon your website or to continue with it. So 40% of the people abandon a website that takes more than 3 seconds to load. So make sure your website loads within 3 seconds. If it takes more than 3 seconds, 40 out of 100 people will leave your website. They will not even get inside. The other day, somebody was asking me what is the bounce rate, right? Bounce rate is people leaving your website even before moving further. I told you this, right? This is why you get bounce rates. because your website is not fast enough. Okay, let's see what else. 47% of consumers expect a web page to load within 2 seconds or less. 2 seconds or less. Guys, understand the value of a second. I will show you how much 1 second is worth. Okay, we will see that in coming slides. But 47% of the consumers, they expect that your web page should load within 2 seconds or less. This is very important. Then a 1 second delay in page response can result in 7% reduction of conversions. 7% reduction for 1 second delay. How much does that mean in terms of money? Let us see. If you have an e-commerce website and let us say you are making $100,000 per day sale, okay? You're making $100,000 per day sale. Now you might be wondering, oh, who will do $100,000 sale per day? This really happens on even smaller websites. Okay, there are many websites which make millions of dollars of sale per day. I'm not talking about Amazon, I'm not talking about Flipkart, or I'm not talking about any big companies. I'm talking about small websites. They make this kind of sale, okay, per day, in season especially. And for suppose if you have a 1 second delay, just 1 second delay, can you guess how much it costs you? It costs you $2.5 million in lost sales every year. 1 second is worth $2.5 million. So second is really, really expensive. You can't afford to lose 1 second, right? So this is why we are talking about speeding up your website. Now, having talked all about these things, how to speed up your website? That is the most important part, right? How to speed up your website. To increase the speed of your website, you need to do 2-3 things. Point number 1 is you have to go to this particular site called as Google Page Speeds Insight, get the score from there, then install these 3 plugins, ABC, that I mentioned here on your website. If it is a WordPress website, okay, we are basically talking about WordPress because we started with WordPress. Okay, we are not talking about any other CMS or a normal website. So if you are using WordPress, install these 1, 2, 3 plugins on your website. Activate them, run them, let them complete their work, then go back to the same point number 1, that is Google Page Speed Insights, and retest your website. And your aim should be to have a score of 80 plus. Let me show you practically how that is done. Okay, so I just come here and I just type Google Page Speed Insights. I press enter. I get these search results. I go with the first page. Okay, Page Speed Insights. Here I will type my URL name, regalconsultants.in. It will take a couple of minutes to analyze your website in depth. Okay. Once it completes the analysis, it will give us some results. Okay, wonderful. Now on mobile, my score is 92, meaning on a mobile, it loads very fast. Here are the statistics. First, content full paint, that is how much time it takes to load the full page. Just 2.3 seconds, because I still don't have anything on my website. It's just WordPress default page that is coming up. But when I add something, this score will definitely go down. But my aim will be to have 80 plus score here, because if it is less than 80, then definitely I will be in soup. I will be in problem. So here are 2 tabs. One is for mobile, one is for desktop. I got 95% score or 95 score on a desktop and 92 on a mobile. Make sure that you get above 80 or above 85 in both of these. The better score you have, the better chances of you getting more conversions. Okay, so it's very, very simple. Just search for this Page Speed Insights, come to this website, type your domain name or your website name, then say analyze. Once you have started analyzing, within a couple of seconds or maybe maximum 1 minute, you will get these results. Just make a note of this. If your page has a speed of less than say 80, then you have to go with the other points that I asked you to do. Okay, the other steps. Here are the steps. You have to go with this, install WP Revision Control and WP Smush, WP Super Cache. Now, what these do, I will tell you within a minute. Okay, Azan is starting, so we'll take a break when the Azan starts, but till then I will continue. So WP revision control basically controls the number of revisions of your page. What exactly is revision? Let me show you what exactly is a page revision. Let me go back to this. Okay, here is an example. This is one of the projects that we have done. Okay, this is nizamherbals.com. Let me show you how this website looks. This is a big website. Okay, this was a big project and a big website, which has got blog, which has got forum and all that stuff. So this is the whole page. Okay, it's still under construction because we still have to get a lot of data into it. Okay, let us now see what is the revision. I was talking about revision. Okay, if I go to the home page, that is the main, this is the home page. Okay, first page, and I just click on edit. What I will be able to see astonish me and you and everybody. See the number of revisions here. 586 times this page was revised. Since the time we started developing or designing this website, we have revised this page 586 times. Now, revision doesn't mean that you have to change everything from top to bottom. But suppose Azana started, I'll just pause for a while, then we'll continue again. Okay, so what I was saying was, revision doesn't mean that you have to change A to Z from a page, top to bottom. Okay, anything, any small change, like for suppose if we have changed the color from black to green, this is one revision. Okay, now what exactly happens is, not only WordPress, but many other CMS have a habit, or it's a built-in system in them, that they will keep revisions. Why? Because if you want to revert back to the previous version, you can go back without any issues. That is the reason they keep copies of pages since the beginning. Now, this particular page had 586 revisions. If I'm going to make a small change now, and if I save this page, it will say 587 revisions. Now, what is happening is, it is saving a copy of the page every time I'm making any changes. So that adds up to the database size, that adds up to the website size. And whenever anybody types nizamherbals.com, okay, it will take time for the page to load because one page has more than 500 revisions. So what will happen? The server will find the correct version, then it will deliver to the web browser, which is requesting for that particular website. So we can stop all that through this particular plugin called as WP Revision Control. Okay, so install WP Revision Control. What this plugin does is it controls the revisions, number of revisions. You can maybe have 5 revisions or 10 revisions at the max. It will delete all of the previous revisions because anyways we are not going to go back to those revisions, right? So we will be careful while making changes in website, and we will not go back to the previous versions. The website is live for more than 3 years now, 2-3 years, right? For 3 years, those many revisions happened. Are we going to go back to the 3 years old version? No, we are not going to go back. So what we can do is, by the way, that website doesn't have SEO, okay? We did not start our SEO on it yet. That is why you see those many revisions on that, okay? So limit the number of revisions. That is the bottom line. Limit the number of revisions so that your website loads faster. Second thing, what you can do is you can install WP Smush. I don't have this installed, but I can show you how to install this and what exactly it does. Because my website got deleted, or I deleted my website, so I don't have anything as of now. So here it is. I'll go back to my website and I'll add a plugin called as WP Smush. SMUSH, Smush. This is WP Smush. Okay, so I can install this. What it does is compresses and optimizes the images with lazy load. Okay, now don't go into what lazy load is all about. If you are interested, you can just go ahead and just type it in Google, what is lazy load, and it will give you a big thesis on that. So we are not concerned about that. What we are concerned about is the optimization of images, because generally it is the image size that takes time to load. Okay, and of course GIFs like this, animated images, they take time to load. So we want them to be super fast, because our website must be super fast. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and install this, and we will run this particular tool on our website. Let me just try. I think we installed this on one of our domains. Okay. All right. I think I installed WP Smash. We removed it maybe. Yeah, we removed it. Anyways, so what this particular plugin does is it will compress my images, you know, the images that I'm using on the website. It will compress and it will show me. I will not go ahead with this because I don't have any images yet on my website. Once I have all the images, I can come here and I'll just click on this recheck images. Okay, I'll click on this particular button. Once I do that, it will show me how much data is saved, you know, how much percentage compression is done. By the way, there are two different versions of this. You have a paid version and a free version. If you want, you can go ahead with the paid version, but I prefer you go ahead with the free version, okay? Because that is enough for us as of now. But if you are doing commercially, let us say you got a big client who is ready to pay you thousands of rupees, then definitely you can go ahead with using this particular part, okay? So this is one tool that you're going to use. Second tool is WP Revision Control. We will install the WP Revision Control. Plugins, add new plugin. Okay, revision control plugin. WP Revisions Control. Okay, I'll just go ahead and install this. Maybe I can find something better. Revision Manager TMC, Revision Control, 80,000. This has 10,000. By the way, whenever you are installing any plugin, make sure to check this part. Okay, how many active installations plus how many ratings it has. So I will install a revision control plugin. Like I'm just installing this one because WP Revision Control seems to be used by many, not that much. Okay, this particular plugin was installed by 80,000 websites. I'll just activate it. Okay, here is Smash, and we will have the revision control plugin here. Okay, allows final control over the number of revisions stored on a global and per type page basis. Okay, I'll just delete this. I already showed you people to delete the unwanted things, whatever it may be, pages or posts or plugins, anything. Okay, so now we have these. Then point number 3, the third plugin was Super Cache. What Cache does is, you know, it caches your website in the local browser, and it every time any person visits your website, it makes sure to give that particular browser only things which are changed on your website online. All the other things it will carry, take it from the local browser. Like you might have seen how your browser works, right? Generally, it caches all the images and it tries to display those images locally, and it downloads only those images or only those parts from the website which are already changed or which have a new version. What happens is, in this process, the internet will be used very less, okay, due to caching. So caching is one of the best things that you can do to your website. Go ahead and install WP Super Cache, but be careful not to overdrive these things. If you come across any problems, just let me know. I will help you further. Okay. Then after running all of these 3, go ahead and do the same test again. Okay. Google Page Speed Insights. Your score should be above 80%. Let's proceed further with the other topic because we have already completed half an hour. Let's speed up from here because this part takes a lot of time, because this part has a lot of tools involved in it, lots of procedures and lots of things to do in the background. So SEO, as I said, can be divided into 2 parts. One is the on-page SEO, second is off-page SEO. Now here is a revealer, okay? So what I'm revealing here is on-page SEO is basically the relevance part, okay? We talked about relevance, we talked about authority, and these are the 2 things on which a search engine works, okay? So how a search engine works is with relevance and with authority. It calculates both things and it gives the weightage to a page and it displays the page on top of the list of search results. So relevance goes with the on-page SEO. What exactly on-page SEO means is, whatever you're doing here, whatever settings or whatever changes you're making are on page or on the website. And what authority means is, we talked about this the other day, the number of links that refer to your website or your website refers to other websites. The number of links gives you the authority. Okay, so we'll talk about these things in a little bit depth. Okay, today we may or may not be able to complete both things because this is a huge topic. If I'm going with advanced, this is going to take nearly 1 month for me to complete. But we are not going to dig so much deeper because this is just a basic course. So I will give you an insight of what exactly is on-page SEO and how we improve the score of our web page through relevance. Okay, let's proceed further with relevance or on-page SEO. Relevance is improved through proper keywords. Relevance is improved through proper keywords. Just keep this in mind. Print these words in mind. Keywords are the most important part of your SEO. Whenever you're doing SEO to your website or any other website, client's website, keywords are the most important thing. Now, keywords can be divided into 3 different types or 3 different sections, I would say. One is short tail keywords. Then we have middle tail keywords or mid tail keywords. Then we have long tail keywords. Let us dig deeper and see what these 3 different types are. Now, this is a graph that depicts the amount of traffic and the amount of search results or search volume which is carried out with these different types of keywords. The pink part that you see here is basically short tail keywords. What exactly short tail keyword means? For example, a person comes on Google and just types 1 or 2 words. Okay. For example, I just come here and I type Italy. What will the search engine know? What exactly do I want? Okay. It's a very short keyword, right? Italy. So it will bring everything and anything that comes to its hand. All the junk will be displayed there. Okay. So the keyword that I'm putting there is not specific. It's very, very generic. So what happens in short tail keywords is the keywords used are generally very generic keywords. Like in this example, a person is typing WordPress themes. WordPress is a very common word and themes is very common. So the search engine doesn't know what exactly he's looking for. It only knows about 2 things. That is, this guy is looking for some WordPress themes. The search engine doesn't know what kind of website he's searching for, what kind of theme he's searching for, what is the purpose behind this particular theme, what is he looking after, what does he want out of this particular theme that he's searching for. Okay, so the keywords generally used in short tail keywords are 1 or 2 words, like very, very small keywords like WordPress themes or biryani recipe. Okay, now biryani is a very vast field, recipe again is a very vast field. So these are generic keywords. The search engine doesn't know whether you're looking for a chicken biryani, mutton biryani, pulao, or what exactly you're looking for. It doesn't know. Then recipe means what kind of recipe? Hyderabadi recipe, Pakistani recipe, North Indian recipe, or Kerala recipe. What exactly is the kind of biryani recipe you're looking for? So there are lots of permutations and combinations that can go ahead. So short tail keywords, in a nutshell, just remember this: short tail keywords are very short keywords that people supply to the search engine, and the amount of search done with these keywords is very, very high. You see this, it goes above and outside actually. The pink part starts from here and goes here. So the amount of search volume is really high. But what about the conversions or the traffic? As you see, the traffic part is very, very less. Look at the width of the band, it's very less. Why is it very less? Because the person who is making the search is not specific about his searches. Okay, so that is why the search engine doesn't know what exactly the person is looking for, and it tries to give everything and anything. So that is why the conversion rate will be very, very lower. Now, let's go on to mid-tail keywords or middle-tail keywords. Example, the same word like WordPress themes can be expanded a little bit more. For example, we have here like WordPress themes for a blog. Now the search engine knows that this particular person is building a blog, and that blog is in WordPress, and he is looking for a theme for his blog. Okay, when compared to the short tail, this is more specific, right, than generic, a little bit more specific. Now the amount of traffic is less, the amount of traffic is more, the amount of conversion is more, because as you see the band has widened here, but the height is decreasing. Why? Because people generally don't put these many keywords here in the browser window or search bar of Google or any search engine. They want quick answers, so they want to keep things as short as possible, but that gives them very abrupt results. Okay, Then let's go on with long tail keywords. Okay, long tail keywords are very, very specific keywords. Okay, very, very specific, not like short tail or mid tail. Here the person is very, very specific about his search. He knows what he's searching for and he wants it now. So here the pain points that he's giving to the search engine are very, very comprehensive. For example, take the same scenario here. First person typed WordPress themes, second person typed WordPress themes for blog. Now the third person typed responsive WordPress theme for my blog, that too free. Now that person who is making this search is really, really clear in his mind that he wants a free website theme, that too for WordPress, that too for his blog, and that should be responsive, meaning it should be mobile ready. So now the search engine knows what exactly this person is looking for, and the amount of traffic this kind of keywords generate is 70% of the total traffic that comes on a search engine. So what we are going to do is we will have a strategy that we are going to discuss in the coming slides. Okay, we will target this particular category and middle tail, mid tail and long tail. We will not go for short tail. Why? Because there are companies who have become experts in handling these short tail keywords. You can name them. For example, Amazon. Okay, you just type headphones, it will bring you everything and anything. And if you have your own website that sells headphones or music instruments or something like that, there is no chance that you will come on the first place. No chance at all. Reason being, Amazon is into the market for decades now, and they have mastered this art. Plus, they will pay to come in the first place. They put ads. Okay, they go with paid traffic. They don't only go with the organic traffic, they also go with the paid traffic. So we will not compete in that particular area. We will not go with short tail keywords. We will go with middle tail and long tail keywords. Let us now dig deeper. Okay, you see these words here, WordPress themes or WordPress themes for blog, and then free responsive WordPress themes for blog. This all shows us a buyer's persona. What exactly is the buyer's persona? Buyer's persona is a personality. It's a virtual personality. You can just sketch that personality in your mind. When you come across the first word, WordPress themes, you will not have a clear picture of the person who is searching for that particular word. Then when you see at this word, WordPress themes for blog, you will have a little bit more clarity about the person who is trying to search for that particular word. Okay, so the buyer that you see here is a little bit more specific. But when it comes to the long tail keyword user, that is the person who used the long word for searching, he is very, very specific because he wants that particular things now. How is it going to affect on your website performance? We will see that in coming slides. So just remember this buyer persona. Okay, remember this point. Buyer persona, we will discuss this. Let's see the sales funnel to understand this particular phenomena in a little bit depth. Now, you remember this kind of funnel? We saw this kind of funnel before also in AIDA formula, right? So a person comes to the website and he just uses these kind of search words. For example, he's coming to Google and he is trying to search for these kind of words: ways to cook a biryani, or ways to travel, or ways to save money. Something like how to write a blog, how to do this, how to do that, or best way to write a blog, or best way to make money. These kind of people are generally doing this for the sake of awareness. Okay, they just are in the research mode, but research mode only to the point of awareness. They are not going to take further action. So we are not looking for people who are on the first or the topmost of the funnel. Then there are people who are more specific. See, the first part, the awareness part, goes with the short tail keywords. Then you have the people, kind of people who will be a little bit more specific, like they are using the mid-tail keywords. They will be in the middle of the funnel. Okay, they are in the research mode and comparison mode. For example, I am searching for cheap, let us say cheap headphones, okay, or cheap something, or best headphones, or best desktop headphones, or best desktop speakers, or something like best PC for my child. So I am in a research mode. Now I am doing research for a PC for my child. So I am in the research and comparison mode. I will try to compare different products, but I am in the middle of the funnel. So am I going to convert? Not that much, because I am still in 50-50 mode. So what kind of people are we looking for? We are generally looking for people who are in the red zone. That is the buying zone of the funnel, the last and bottom part. People who are in the buying zone will definitely use words like buy, coupon, deal, discount, free, or shipping, something like that. Like in our previous example, if you see here, this guy was using free responsive WordPress themes for blog. Okay, so that person is in buying mode. So we will target this particular person plus the persons in research and comparison mode. Why? Because these are going to convert, and the people up here, they may convert, but it will take a lot of time. Why waste time on these when we can get results from here? Okay, so this is how we are going to strategize our keywords. Okay, because our whole website or SEO depends on keywords. Let us see what is the keyword research process. I will go a little bit faster from here. Okay, there are 5 or 6 different types of techniques that we use for proceeding with a keyword research process. Number 1 is we will develop a buyer persona. Getting into the customer's shoes is the first step to research any keyword. Okay, and I think we did this long back. You might be remembering, right? We did this while we were doing market research. Okay, the first part. While doing market research, we already did this. We tried to find out people's pain points. Okay, now in this case, what was the pain point of this person? He is searching for a theme, that to a free theme, he doesn't want to pay for it, and to a responsive free WordPress theme. So this is his pain point. He wants a free responsive WordPress theme because he's building a blog. Okay, if you are a person who is selling themes, then you can target him. In the beginning, you can give him free, then maybe you can, just go ahead and he can purchase with maybe other parts of your website can give him other things to purchase. That is called as funnel marketing. So what we'll do is we'll develop a user persona or the buyer persona. Okay, we will search for users who are searching for specific keywords with their pain points. Okay, they are searching for valuable information to solve their problems because they have problems. We already did this in our market research part. Okay, things that we did before are now usable to us. Okay, that is the value of our course. What we are doing is nothing, absolutely nothing goes in waste. One part is interlinked to the other part. So make sure you have a good knowledge of market research. You do good market research so that it helps you here also. Now, method number 2 is we will have a keyword strategy. Aim to target less competitive body and long keywords. If you see here, like we discussed in this graph, the competition for this pink part is a lot. We cannot come in the first place because companies are paying like madly to come on the first page or in the first 10 results. So if you are targeting this particular word, chances are you will not even come in 100 or 200 page because many people are competing here. What about people who are competing here? You see the graph has decreased a lot. That is because the competition has decreased a lot, but conversion ratio has increased a lot. Okay, so that part is where we are going to target people. Okay, so target long and body tail keywords, or this is also called as body keywords or mid tail keywords, and these are the long tail keywords. Okay, create a content around portfolio. You should have a portfolio of words, not like single words. Okay, single term like WordPress or just themes. If you see this and this, compare this keyword with this keyword. This keyword has a long thing. Okay, you can have many things attached to your keyword. Okay, there are lots of keywords that you can use to build your content around. You can build your, for suppose if you're a blog writer, you can have something like free themes or responsive free WordPress themes or responsive WordPress themes for blog. This gives you a lot of chance because the person is giving you a lot of pain points. You can utilize these pain points and give the people back what they are looking for. Here, the person is not giving us any pain points at all. Okay, but the competition is really high here when compared to this particular part. Okay, so always make sure that you make it a strategy to target middle term and middle tail and long tail keywords, or you call it a body and long tail keywords. Okay, then we can use strategy number 3 or point number 3, that is to brainstorm for keyword ideas. How to do that? I will share with you this keyword research template. Okay, it's actually a Excel or a Google sheet, okay, which you can use. Then what you'll do, you will basically use Wikipedia to hack for topics and synonyms. Okay, I'll just show you how to do that. Then we can generate thousands, literally thousands of long tail keywords or long tail keyword ideas using these 3 tools: Google Autocomplete, then Ubersuggest, then this is a really bad name, but it really does really good things. You know, I will show you how. the name is really bad, but it really does wonders. Okay, so we will use these 3 tools or maybe one of them to get as many keywords as possible. Now, why we are concerned about keywords? Like I said, your on-page SEO is totally dependent on keywords. You can improve your on-page SEO through keywords. Okay. Then point number D is you can discover words through Quora or Quora, whatever you call it. You can get keywords from there because people keep on asking questions. They keep their pain points there. Okay, they come up with their pain points. They ask questions about their pain points. So you can gather those pain points from Quora also. Let us see how this is done. So to start with, let me share you the screen, and what I will do here is, give me a minute, please. I'll just open the file that I was talking about, the template. Okay, no issues. Presently, I'm unable to find it. I'll share it. It's just an Excel file. Okay, it's just an Excel file. And I think I just put it somewhere in my drive. The best thing I can do is I can go to Sheets and I can open the Sheets from here. See guys, always be in, here it is. Okay, so this is the template. Okay, I'll share this template with you people. What you have to do is search for topics, any topic. For example, I talked about 3 different tools that we are going to use. My favorite is Keyword Shitter. I'm sorry about that, but it really is a good one. Okay, Keyword Shitter. Okay, Keyword Shitter. This is a website. It's free. You can go there and you can simply type a keyword that you're looking for. For example, if I am looking for, say, digital marketing, okay, and I just come here and say shit words, it will start doing that. And literally, until and unless I stop it, it is going to go on and on and on and on and on. See the number of keywords it is giving me, and it keeps on increasing. Okay, once this is done, I can download those keywords and I can do my further research. So what I'll do, I'll select that keyword, I'll put the topic here, and I will go into, this is my topic, right? Digital marketing. I'll just delete this. I'll just put number 1 here. Okay, digital marketing, and aim for more descriptive phrases that are less competitive. For example, logistics management case studies. This is a long keyword. I didn't just say logistics management, or I just didn't put there logistics. I put the long keyword, or the person who is searching for this keyword is searching for this long keyword. So what I will do, I just put digital marketing in my topic. I'll come and I'll gather these keywords. You see, these are some long keywords here. Okay, it will go on. It will go on. I'll just stop it. Okay, see, this is a really good one. Digital marketing jobs in Hyderabad for freshers. See how long it is? I'll just come here and I'll just paste it. Okay, get from Google Keyword Planner or Keyword Everywhere Chrome extension. What are you going to do? This is Keyword Everywhere Chrome extension. I showed you the other day. Please install it. It's very, very valuable. Now, how we are going to analyze the value of this particular keyword? I just copy this keyword. I'll just go to Google. Now, this is a research process, guys, and this is going to take time. It consumes a lot of time and energy. You see the keywords here? It shows me the related keywords. Okay. It shows me everything. I can download this, or I can just go ahead with any of these keywords. People also search for these keywords. It is giving me suggestions. Okay. So this is how we plan for keywords. This is a really big topic. I can't complete this topic within just 1 or 2 sessions. Okay. It's going to take some time, and it is going to take some time for you people to understand, then practice this. And just by listening to me, or listening to the lecture or watching the video, you will not be able to learn it. You will be able to learn it only when you're doing this on your own. Like you did this with the market research section. Okay. Now I know that many of you might not have completed the market research section, but people who have already completed the market research section are really confident now. Can we have one in the chat window? How many people have completed the market research section? And do you really feel that, yeah, it was worth it? Nobody did that? Let's have one, guys. Okay, see, Rehan Hussain, this is one of my favorite students. Tawqir Khan, fantastic. Mazharullah, little bit I did. No issues, but you at least try to do. Rayyan, I did a little bit. Okay. Arif Zahir did. Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good, guys. You're on the right track. Okay. So you will find it really, really interesting. And this is a fun thing to do. Okay. The more you do this, the better websites and the better product you are going to come out with. Okay. So just do simple things. Okay. Anyways, you'll have this recording and these slides. You can just copy the words and put it here. What to do after that? Okay, what after I just copied these keywords from here? Let us say I just copied these keywords that I liked. Not everything, okay, only the ones you like, because it is displaying hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of keywords. If you see here, it already displayed 601 keywords. I don't want all of those. Let us say I'm just looking for some special keywords to target some special people, maybe in Yamunanagar and maybe in Hyderabad. Okay, this was just related to digital marketing. Let us say I want to search for biryani recipe. Okay, I'll just put this keyword, I'll start the job. You see, these are long tail keywords, guys. These are not 1 letter or 2 letter keywords. Here we go. See, long tail keywords. It will go on because it is bringing these keywords from where? It is bringing those keywords from here. Okay, and this is one of the tools, by the way. Google itself is a tool, Google search. This is Google search suggestions. Okay, you see the long tail keywords here. Okay, these are all the long tail keywords. For example, if I just come here and type digital marketing, it will give me all of these suggestions. All of these suggestions are being given because people search for these. These are people's pain points. So these are going to help me decide what topic I should write on. Rather than writing on some topic and then trying to do SEO, it will be better if I keep my content around the keywords that I gather from different places. Now, if you go here to my website, regalconsultants.in, what is happening here is I don't have a website yet. What I'm going to do now is whatever content I'm going to build here will be around these things. Okay, will be around, sorry, the digital marketing things. See, it already got me 500, yeah, more than 500 keywords. These are long tail keywords, guys. Long tail keywords. I'm after these keywords. Okay, so I will get these keywords. I will just copy them here. What am I going to do after that? I will check cost per click. Why it is important, I will tell you. Okay, how I'm going to check cost per click? I will use some tools. Okay, and what is cost per click? I'll tell you. Try Ubersuggest. Ubersuggest is a free tool. All right, we will go with Ubersuggest. I'll just come here. I'll just type Ubersuggest. Ubersuggest. Okay. Neil Patel, Ubersuggest key. Okay, here it is. I need a Google Chrome extension, and I will just install this. I'll just add this to my Chrome browser. What it does is it shows me how much people are spending on a particular keyword. Okay, I'll just go here. Ubersuggest. Okay. To see SEO metrics, perform Google search. Okay, I just go here and I will just type digital marketing. I'm not typing anything else. This is the search, and when I come here, you see for the word digital marketing, monthly searches are 2,01,000, and cost per click is people are spending. This we will understand during the Google ads. Okay, we will understand what is CPC in Google ads. And see the trend, guys. See the trend, how digital marketing trend is going up. So this is how you will get insights into the keywords. And keywords are really important because not only in SEO, you will use keywords in Google Ads also, because this is the keyword people are paying 40 rupees for one keyword click. You see here, this guy has already paid this much money to come here. Okay, if I click on this, Udemy is going to lose 40.29 rupees because Udemy is paying Google 40.29 rupees to get this keyword. Let me check biryani recipe, because you might be thinking this guy is talking about just digital marketing and nothing else. Okay, now when I come here, you see I can go here and I can just click on this. This is the number of searches per month. SEO difficulty is this much, paid difficulty is this much, cost per click, people are ready to pay 12.78 rupees for this particular keyword, guys. So the more valuable the keyword is, the better it is for your website. Okay, and see, this is the trend that is going on. So install these small okay, where we are. So install these small apps or packages or plugins to your Google Chrome, and it will give you a lot of insights. Okay, so we use these kind of tools. Then we just hack Wikipedia. This is one more thing that you can do. You can hack Wikipedia. How are you going to do that? Let me show you. Okay. All right. So we are running short of time, but I'll try to just cover it up. Wikipedia.com. Let me just go ahead and type digital marketing. How are we going to hack Wikipedia? It doesn't mean that we are literally going to hack it. It means that we are going to see the keywords listed here. You see, all of these are keywords. All of these are keywords related to my keyword. Okay. Another way we can do that is through Google search itself by installing this particular tool, Keywords Everywhere. Okay. So digital marketing. When I click on this, okay, this is Ubersuggest. I will go down. These are the keywords related to it. Okay, so I will get all the related keywords. See, keywords people also search for. These are related keywords. This is how we do the keyword research. Then I put all the keywords here. Then I go ahead and check for highest CPC. You see this CPC value, digital marketing. This particular word is so common that people are ready to pay 167 rupees. Courses of digital marketing, people are paying nearly 90 rupees for this particular search. So the higher CPC, the better it is. Okay, so you're going to get the value because people are searching for that particular word, and higher CPC means you have better chance to show up in Google search results. So that is how you are going to do the research for your keywords. Okay, let's proceed further with other points. Point number 4 is narrow down your keyword list. You have got hundreds and thousands of keywords now. Now you are not going to use each and every keyword, or otherwise your website will be blacklisted. What you're going to do is you are going to use search volume data from Keyword Everywhere extension. Okay, we already installed this extension. I showed you how to use that. Just play around with it. You'll come to know about it. Then we will use Google Keyword Planner. This Google Keyword Planner was free before, but now it is paid. Okay, it will ask you for payment. So I would suggest you go ahead with Keyword Everywhere extension instead of Google Keyword Planner. Try with Google Keyword Planner. It will ask you to sign up. Okay, don't give any credit card or anything. You can still use it, but it will show you limited options, not full options. Okay, so using these two, you can cut down on the list. You can bring out the more valuable things. Be sure to consider commercial intent using cost per click figures as a guide. The more CPC it has, the valuable the word is. Okay, you will try to use that particular word. Then final point is choose target words. Once you have a list of possible keywords and phrases, start by reviewing the first page of Google for each keyword. Okay, first page of Google has the topmost results that show top 10, like we have seen. They occupy the first page. So check with your search result like we did here. Okay, let me be very quick. Example, we search for digital marketing, and these are the topmost results, top 10 results that we got. Okay, I'm not talking about this particular part, but these are the top 10 results. Okay, by the way, you see the domain score here, domain traffic, how much domain traffic they are getting and all that stuff. Presently, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, in next higher courses, you can learn about these things. But as of now, just see whether your keyword is being listed in the first page or not. Okay, that will add value to your keyword. Then what you're going to do, look to see if there are well-established sites with high quality content. Okay, from the first page search results, you will check whether the sites being displayed there have good quality of data or not. For example, neilpatel.com. He is a guru, a digital marketing guru. Okay, he's into many different things. Okay, especially conversions. This guy. Okay, he's a world record holder and many things. So check whether the content here is really valuable or not. If yes, then you will come to know, you just utilize his name, Neil Patel, and you go there and just check for his value. Okay, you can just check what keywords he's using. Oh my goodness, I didn't show you one keyword. Okay, actually, here it is. Okay, now I just come here and I'll go to this particular website and I will see how many internal and external links this guy has. You see, I just highlighted this and it shows me all internal links. By this, we will have the authority. We will be able to check the authority of this website. See the number of links. See the number of links on this page, and I can highlight the external links as well. See, these are all external links that are going outside the website. Look at these. That is why he is coming in the first place, guys. Okay, that's how simple it is. You use these tools, Moz and Ubersuggest and keywords everywhere. Then you just find out your competitor, open his website and come into the Moz tool and just see how many clicks he has and how many links he has. Okay, how many links he has in his website. You see, it goes on and on and on. This is the reason. These are all external links. These are all internal links with yellow highlighting. This is the reason he's on first place. So that's how you do the SEO basics of your website. Okay, so use data from your Moz SEO toolbar to see the authority. Okay, we have seen the authority of the links. That is, by the way, my competitor, so I'm just checking his links. Okay, eliminate overly competitive words and focus on keywords you actually have a chance to rank for. For example, short tail keywords will stand no chance to come in the highest ranking, so we can go ahead with the long tail keywords. Okay, that Neil Patel has not used. There might be words that he has just skipped because he's really getting traffic from short tail keywords. So I will use the words that he has left out, okay, so that I can utilize it, so that I can have less number of competitors. Then your keywords, your chosen keywords will be the centerpieces of your content. I will build my content around my keywords. That's how we work. Okay, so this is a cyclic process. Don't think that I will do this and my website will come in the first place. It doesn't happen like that. This is a time-consuming process, like I have shown you in the previous class. It takes patience and persistence to get your website in top ranks. Okay. So a quick recap of what we had done till now. We talked about. Are you on the right slide? Okay. We talked about mobile readiness of your page and why does it matter. Then we talked about your page speed and how much it can cost you if your website is slower by just 1 second. Okay, it can cost you $2.5 million if you are doing a e-commerce on your website. Okay, it really happens, guys. Then we have seen SEO, and time did not permit, so we are not going with the off-page SEO. We just went ahead and saw what is on-page SEO. With that, we have finished our topic for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. Any questions?
Sir, you have shown this three band there, orange and yellow and the green. So why the people are paying for the smaller band? Because hence you have said we cannot come on to the first one, the orange one, no?
See, it's not only about paying. It's about people who are there since decades working on that particular thing. For example, you have just started in SEO, right? Now, consider yourself as a SEO guru who has spent nearly 20 years in this field. How competitive you will be? Or can I come after 20 years and compete with you at the same level? No, right? It's not possible. Not only in SEO, not only in any other field. It's the case with all other fields. Same thing goes with these people right now, because they are in the field since decades. They are already using tools. They are using paid tools to come there. They're using techniques to come there, and they are paying in ads, huge amount of money they are spending in ads to come on the first page. Why? Because they are e-commerce businesses. That is the reason Amazon is on first place, right? That is the biggest e-commerce website in the world. Same thing goes with other people, the top 10 guys that are showing up there. Okay, so that is why that particular band spends a lot of money, spends a lot of resources just on small keywords, because they have grown so big that only small keywords can give a lot of data out of them. Okay, the search engine can find a lot of data out of them, but that's not the case with our website. Can we compare our website with Amazon? It's not possible, right? Amazon is a huge website. They own servers just to host that particular website, Amazon.com or Amazon.in. If I am starting an e-commerce business, my website will be very small. Of course, we did all of these things for a client who had nearly, I think, 800 products, around 800 or 900 products at the max. How many products can you have? Can you guess how many products Amazon has? Millions of products. Okay, because every variant is an SKU there. Every variant is an SKU. Okay, a different product in a nutshell. So that is why competing with them will be like a foolishness. It is better to go ahead with these long tail keywords in the beginning, so that once our rank improves, automatically we will flow with the flow. Okay, go with the flow. That is the basics. Any other questions?
So this keywords everywhere, it's asking for API and asking to pay.
Sorry, it is asking for?
API and also to pay.
Oh, okay. You can do one thing, just register using your email ID, and
Okay.
in your account details on the keyword everywhere page, it will give you your API. Do not pay anything for it. Just use the API key and just put it here.
Okay.
Please don't pay anything, because we are just practicing. If you pay, you will end up paying lots of money.
Sir, as you have said, sir, the guy is paying click per pay. What is that, sir? They're paying to the Google or what?
Yeah, they are paying to Google.
Somebody clicks there, then they have to pay.
Actually, they put ads on Google. So Google has a method called as, generally ads work on bidding. It's an automated process. Same thing happens in Google ads, same thing happens in Facebook ads, same thing happens with all ads, whether it be Google, Facebook, or your Instagram ads, or let us say your YouTube ads or anything. The person who is paying more, his ad will win. That's how it goes. It's a bidding process, and it's an automated bidding process, and their algorithms take care of it. The only thing is, if you are, let us say you are the person who is putting an ad, then you have to make sure that you have a huge amount of budget to compete with these guys. Okay, because in a single click, he is losing nearly around 165, 188 rupees. Within 188 rupees, let me just tell you one thing. I just put an ad on Facebook, and within 500 rupees, I was able to reach 10,000 people. 10,000 people. Now here for one click, this guy is paying how much? 188 rupees. So in all, if he's getting just 3 clicks, he will be paying more than 500 rupees, right? But I got 10,000, I was able to reach 10,000 people. So it depends on what exactly is your target. Okay, whether you want the person to click on your link, or you just want to reach the other person. Okay, so that's how you spend, that's how you decide the ad spend. We will look at it deeper in the ad section, Google ad section, inshallah. Okay, anything else? Our time is up. We have already run out of time. We already crossed a lot of time. Okay, I'm just stopping the recording as of now. If you have